Hi, have you ever wondered what it would be like to face a Drider that's been crossed with an illithid? Yes, a drow spider hybrid that is also part mind flayer. Well, let's find out.
In the future, I will do a video like this one on the Masters of Absolute Accord. But Elminster has warned me that there's a more pressing evil. Pressing because, unlike the trapped-in-one-place Masters, it can be found in many places across Faerûn to be addressed. And this evil is of the Master's making. I'm speaking of the Nurlreth. The what? The who? Nurlreths are driders crossed with illithids, magically fused, not bred, and they are unleashed upon the wider world by the Masters with an innate and secret mission they are dedicated to carrying out, though often such missions have trigger points in the future. That is, the particular Nurlreth won't begin to try to carry out its mission until some later time or specific trigger event, such as the death of a particular ruler or other powerful being. Apparently, it may not even know what its mission is until the triggering incident or time is reached. So, like a Drider, a Nurlreth has a large arachnid body with a drow torso jutting vertically up from the front of it. But that torso has the glistening with mucus purple hide of an illithid with a hairless head that has 4 tentacles protruding from around the mouth. These tentacles look very much like those of normal mind flayers, but can expand in length from a waist of torso retracted length to 10 feet beyond the circle of its arachnid legs. Nurlreth have all of the properties and powers of a Drider, such as poison bite and fey ancestry, innate spellcasting, spider climb, web walking, and yes, sunlight sensitivity, and all the powers of a mind flayer except the ability to extract brains or generate and implant tadpoles. So they can grapple with their tentacles, detect thoughts, mind blast, dominate monster, plane shift themselves only, and so on. Nurlreths are, thankfully for everyone else, solitary creatures who only consort with others when those others are dupes or caged or confined captives. Even more thankfully, they cannot breed. The fusion that creates a Nurlreth involves magical bindings that absorb magic missiles and other incoming force damage producing magical effects to power and rejuvenate themselves. So the targeted Nurlreth suffers no damage. These same bindings slowly heal all damage a Nurlreth suffers, so they regenerate 1 hit point at the end of every hour. Nurlreths also possess a very rare ability. If they devour part of the raw brain of a gifted creature, that is, a human or other arcane spellcaster who casts spells by study and memorization rather than innately like a sorcerer or creature who can emit a magical effect due to its nature, and that creature has spells memorized, the Nurlreth instantly gains the ability to cast by will alone, no need for verbal, somatic, or material components, all of those memorized spells at the level, spell slot, memorized in that devoured brain henceforth. When a Nurlreth casts such a spell, it can't cast that particular spell again for 24 hours from the time of casting. Note that lacking the ability to extract brains via their tentacles, the Nurlreth will have to obtain the brain by more grisly methods. Such brains need not be intact, but they must be uncooked. Lightning and acid can have struck them, but not fire or intense heat, and the Nurlreth must devour at least 1/6 of the entire brain to gain any spells at all. Elminster tells me that some Nurlreth have been encountered who had quite a wide roster of spells memorized, almost as if they had been deliberately hunting down and slaying wizards. All of this lore I'm revealing here comes directly from Elminster, and he was able to share with me some hints and a handful of confirmations regarding the missions embedded in the brains of Nurlreth by the Masters of Absolute Accord who create them and send them forth. These missions cannot be spurned by a Nurlreth. Carrying them out overrides everything else, including any instinct or thoughts about self-preservation. Most who have heard of the Masters at all think of them as mad, and extend this view to expecting their aims and the tasks and missions they assign to Nurlreth and members of the Order of Blue Fire to be nonsensical, chaotic, or even contradictory in likely outcomes. But such views are mistaken.
So Ed, I gotta know, considering the sheer volume of work you put out, what really inspires you and revs you up to continue pumping out so much Realms lore, which, by the way, it is a lot, every single day?
Well, every single day look, a dragon! Ideas fall into my head and crush me flat. And they do that because of Realms fans who ask me questions. And I love helping, by sharing Realms lore.
And if you enjoy benefiting from the fruits of Ed's labor and you have been liking these videos and want to consider supporting them, please consider becoming a protector of the realms by heading on over to patreon.com/EdGreenwood, where you can get early access to all these videos, ad-free and uncut, but all sorts of other really great stuff. And not only does that support Ed, the man, directly, it also helps facilitate us bringing you the best possible content we can on this platform. Or hey, maybe you want to support Ed another way. If that's the case, you can head on over to the official Ed Greenwood shop, where you can get his Does Undeath Make Me Look Thin tee, or this unsupervised wizard mug. I promise we make this t-shirt in different colors. I will leave a link to that down in the description. But for now, please enjoy the rest of this Realms lore video.
In the same way that Mystra and Azuth seek to promote widespread arcane magic use for all, the Masters seek to spread the use, influence, and taint of twisted by the spell plague or wild magics, so that new beings become plague-changed and spell-scarred, even this long after the onset of the spell plague, and magics are cast or unleashed that promote the chaos still rippling through the weave from that cataclysm. So, some known Nurlreth missions have included finding and destroying or damaging weave anchors, both living individuals and stationary artifacts or nodes of magical power, forest glades or gate portal intersections, or nodes in the Underdark where phase rest is strong. More often, they have centered around attacking existing wards, mythals, and spellwebs so that these will behave erratically, then increasing the resulting chaos by casting particular spells in particular ways or spots, and/or citing enchanted items as fuel sources for ongoing wild magic effects to spread chaos in the weave and across the landscape of Toril. A few missions have even involved targeted assassinations of particular wizards, or priests of Mystra or Azuth, though these latter targets have always evoked ferocious responses from the servants of those two deities, up to and including expeditions to the lair of the Masters to eliminate many Nurlreths. For these reasons, and the difficulties involved in their creation, Nurlreths remain rare, though, as Elminster said darkly, not rare enough. To create Nurlreth, the Masters of Absolute Accord must use third-party agents who work for them to procure both illithids and driders, and bring them to the ruins of the Lodge of the Retributive Masters near Deep Amaskar, where the Masters are imprisoned. Many of these agents are members of the Order of Blue Fire, and they need to be powerful, for none of the illithids and driders they capture will be willing participants in being captured in the first place, or in what the Masters do to them. If the fusion process that creates Nurlreths is successful, the driders lose their minds, and the illithids end up in inferior alien bodies not their own that metamorphose into half-drider, half-illicid. To those who see the results as strange or ungainly, Elminster says this: "Have you seen many of the monsters bards and minstrels sing about, or adventurers tell you tales of having met and fought? Strange and ungainly is what many creatures across the realms are. Even, dare I say it, you and me, in our world. Well, me at least."
Yeah, Nurlreth.
It's Nurlreths.
Oh, Nurlreth.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been doing that wrong the whole time.
Don't worry.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. 7 stars of Saloon.
It's not Salune, it's Saloon, right?
Saloon. Saloon.
Saloon.
Salune is the witch.
Right. That's what I keep mixing up.
I don't think you could have thought of a grosser monster if you tried.
Challenge.
Yeah, let's mix something everyone loves, the drow, with something everyone hates, spiders, with something everyone objectively thinks is gross, but is also terrifying, an octopus face goop monster.
Thank you. Oh yes, I intend to make your lives a living nightmare.
Yeah.
I've heard about the birds and the bees. I haven't heard about the spiders and the octopi, I've got to say.